So welcome to the 7 Steps to Sell for More. My name is Mike Nealon. I'm an agent with Coldwell Banker, licensed in Mass and Rhode Island.
I'm Rob Cunningham. I'm with Coldwell Banker as well, licensed in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and actually licensed in California as well.
Very cool. So this is our series that we're starting, 7 Steps to Sell for More. Rob, obviously you've been doing this a while, so you have some great brains behind this idea. So why don't you kind of give a quick breakdown of like, what is this next 7 to 9 videos going to be, and what are people going to learn?
Well, essentially what we're doing is we've found, for years I would speak with people like, oh, well, it's a strong market, especially in California. Sure. Let me just throw a sign in the ground. I can sell, and they're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. They're going to throw a sign in the ground and they're going to sell. Yeah. And back in California, the question is, are they going to sell for 1.2 million? Or are they going to sell for 1.5 million? Mm-hmm. And that's what the 7 steps talks about. Okay. It's going to be easy to sell your house, but selling it for the most money with the best terms are two completely different things.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and that's, I think, what we'd like to, show people, and we hope that we get the opportunity, to sit down with people in their homes and explain, why we can offer so much more and create so much more opportunity for our clients with this system.
Yeah, because there's so much more. I mean, I'm obviously a newbie in the industry comparatively, but I have a decade of experience in business, sales, and marketing. And so, when I came into it, I think quickly I found that there's so much more to buying and selling than just, in the selling side, than just throwing it in MLS and waiting to see what happens. I think marketing is like incredibly important.
Absolutely.
I think the network of people you can reach out to and you can know is incredibly important. And I just think there's so much more to it than you really think on both sides of the transaction.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what will be really interesting to hear about. And especially I think one thing that you really touched on that maybe you could just tease is sort of like staging and prepping a home. Yeah. I think I don't think a lot of people think too far into that or know how deep that goes.
Yeah. Well, and it's great you bring that up, because the first thing that I will say and that we have to say is it depends on what the area demands or what the area is willing to accept. Right. We don't know. If you're living in Des Moines, Iowa, what you do to prep, you want to find the right agent there, just like you want to find the right agent here, because how I prep in Northern California is going to be completely different than Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and areas inland in those states. Right. But the thing is, when you have a high-end home, which is what we specialize in, I know sometimes people are like, gosh, do I really want to spend the money? Well, we found over and over again in California, you spend a few $1,000s on staging and a few $1,000s on paint, and that may sound like a lot to a lot of people. Yet by the time you finish, you might be into it for $25,000 or $30,000. I always say, but if you take all the houses you put in that bucket, where you did that work, and you take all the houses that you didn't do that work, because no house are the same, on average, you're going to sell for easily 150. Or 200,000, if not way more than that number. And we have the numbers to prove it. I'm happy to give people references and explain how well this works. Right. And it sells quicker, better terms, more money. It's a much better scenario for the seller.
If people can walk in, I think it's a night and day difference if somebody can walk in, feel like they could picture themselves living in the space as opposed to just empty rooms, and B, something that's warm, inviting, pretty, move-in ready, ready to go. Like you're saying, makes a huge, huge difference.
And you're right. I mean, turnkey is, I hate to say it, but turnkey is key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what people want. And the other thing that I think a lot of sellers don't realize is when something looks that nice and is that ready to go, if there's a couple of small little nuances that the property has, they're much more willing to overlook those. As long as they're, again, they're not going to overlook a foundation problem, but as long as it's reasonable, they'll usually overlook that.
Yeah, so I'm excited. This is going to be a great series. We hope it brings a lot of value, and I'm excited to get into it. So
Yeah.
stay tuned, watch these next 7 to 9 videos, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.